Welcome to Flip the Script with Vic, a sacred space for honest, unfiltered, and sometimes taboo conversations between women walking the path of truth, healing, and soul remembrance. What started as my personal exploration has become a communal prayer, a podcast devoted to amplifying women's stories in their own words. I'm your host, Victoria Nielsen, intuitive healer, mama, and space holder for the divine feminine. Here, we gather as cycle breakers, mothers, mystics, creatives, witches, and wild ones, flipping the script on what it really means to be a woman in today's world. Through raw interviews, intimate solo casts, and brave conversations, we'll chat about motherhood, mysticism, psychedelics, spirituality, and more. You'll be reminded that your voice matters, that your truth matters, that you're here to walk in beauty. So be the prayer, and let's flip the script. Are you ready? Let's jump on in. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to another episode of Flip the Script with Vic. I'm so excited to be here with you guys. As always, I have another amazing woman who I get to just hype up and chat with today. Heather Sims and I have known each other, since 2020, I think since the craziness of the pandemic. And I've just watched you grow into such a beautiful mother, content creator, wellness advocate. She has a beautiful workbook about how to live a vibrant life. Really, everything you do comes back to living a vibrant life. And I need more of that in my life. So thank you for being you and welcome to the podcast.
So much. I'm so excited to be here. I can't believe it's been that long. It's crazy. But yeah, I'm just so excited to be here and chat with you.
Yay. I wanted to go motherhood kind of first, but really to even just take a step back further. We met in an online Kundalini business community. Had you done Kundalini before then, or I was totally new to it? I didn't even know what I'd signed up for.
No, so I had been following both girls for a while, and so I was aware of it, but had not been practicing it. And what got me hooked was I tried breathwork for the first time and was immediately just I need more of this. I love this. So that really drew me in. And then at that point in my life, I think my daughter was 2 when I joined that group, or was about to be 2. And I feel like I was coming out of the postpartum trenches, finally feeling a little like myself again and wanting to pour more into myself. And so it just felt like the right timing. And I just dove headfirst into all of it.
It was such a special time. I was thinking about that this morning, the group of women that we got to meet. So Elevate the Globe is no longer RIP. The 2 women that founded it split up, but Kundalini yoga is an ancient yogic technology that's been around for a really long time that can be called breath work or just the yoga of awareness. Essentially, it's a lot of repetitive movements, but there was a group of us, there was 30 that joined this group of women. It was a mastermind online that started before the pandemic hit. We joined in January, and then I think the craziness of the pandemic hit in March. And so I don't know if it was just that we were going through a global pandemic together or what, because there was a lot of us that stayed in that group. I think it was I was in it for probably 2 years, 2.5 years. And I still keep in touch with so many of the women.
Yeah.
And it feels disproportionate to the amount of people I meet in everyday life, and who I keep in touch with. So
yeah, it was a very special group, and I'm still connected with a lot of those women and chat with them regularly. So it was a very tight knit. The Telegram group was really I feel the glue that held it all together, and it was so sweet.
Right, or super overwhelming, one of the two. But I remember as you were the first person that admitted to the group. You were I want to be an influencer. I want to just be able to But I loved that because I had wanted to be to the same thing, really. I wanted to be an influencer. I wanted to be famous, but you couldn't really say that. Oh, you don't say that. And you did. And I was fuck yeah, I want it too, actually.
You know what? Yeah, it felt so weird saying it out loud, and I remember I had a lot of work to do. I feel that was really the first year or so I was in that group was just allowing myself to want that. I had bought a camera years ago and always wanted to have a YouTube channel, and it just sat in the little camera case and nothing happened because it was a thing I wanted to do, but I felt so scared to just put myself out there and hit record or whatever. but I feel like a lot of the inner work I was doing in that group was just like allowing myself to be seen and use my voice and just be okay with being seen and like not having shame around the word influencer or whatever. Yeah.
No, but it worked because you grew your Instagram channel to over 20,000 followers. And it was just you being yourself. It was you creating because it brought you joy. And, I
Yeah.
think a lot of us came out of that time, like with businesses and with things maybe when we wouldn't have. Like, I know for me, it opened up the idea of even having a business. Like, I never thought that I could have a spiritual business or be in business for myself even. And to your point, all of the inner work that we did together, I feel like helped every woman see that, like, she has the ability for so much more. And when you're seen by other women like that, like, I can't tell people enough, like, it's an indescribable experience to be cheered on that way in like such beautiful camaraderie and not having it be competition and like letting another woman speak her dreams and have it be like medicine and fuel for your own, like we were in a little dream incubator almost.
Seriously, it was like I feel like my inner growth almost like fast tracked those
Yeah.
couple years. Like it was like, or at least like it was a catapult into it, like it was a starting point for me. Um, just like the amount of support and how much difference a supportive community can make in how you show up and like how you allow yourself to dream bigger, I feel like was so huge because my husband, of course, was supportive. My friends are supportive, but it wasn't like the same type of
Yeah.
connection and people who were in the same boat going towards similar things is just absolutely changing the game.
Absolutely. Well, and then in the midst of all this, you got pregnant, had your second child, and then I feel like,
Yes.
went through, gosh, another rebirth. I believe with every
Yeah,
child we are reborn. You have to be. You're incubating this energy for
absolutely.
9 months. Like, you birth it into the world. You're not the same. Like, walk me through
Yeah,
that. Like, did that change any of your hopes and dreams or how you approach things now that you're a mom of two instead of a mom of one?
absolutely. So at the beginning, we thought we were one and done, and I was happy to have
Oh,
my daughter.
really?
And
I
then
didn't know
and
that.
then she turned 3, and my husband and I in the same week were like, do we want more? And it was crazy that we, just at the same time, it was super aligned. And yeah, so he was born when my daughter was 4, and we've always planned to homeschool. So it was kind of in those pre-homeschool stages, at like her being 4. And then yeah, like you said, every child is its own rebirth. And so it was a lot of adjusting, and the jump from 1 to 2 felt more intense to me than the jump from 0 to 1. I know some
Same.
people say the opposite, but okay. And
It
I
was a
think it was
lot.
a
My
shift
nervous
for
system was like,
everyone.
what
Yeah.
just happened? Like,
Yeah. Yeah. I will say my son's birth experience was a lot easier than my daughter's, so it was nice in that way that I had 2 home births, and
okay, I was gonna ask. I knew you home birthed with
my
Teddy, but you home birthed with June too.
yes, so
Okay.
my first was about 36 hours of labor, and it was pretty intense.
Shit.
And
Like at
yeah, it
home
was
by
very
yourself.
rough.
Like,
Yeah,
walk me
yeah.
through
I mean
that. I had to have
with
hospital births, so I don't. I'm like, what is that like? I want to
yeah.
know.
Yeah, so I was I think 41 and a half weeks pregnant. It was, she's in there for a long time. Labor finally started, and it just progressed very slowly, and which was fine at the beginning. But then my midwives encouraged breaking my water, and after that things got very intense. And I can't remember the name for it. I think it's like fetal ejection something, where your body tries to push out the baby before you're fully dilated.
Oh my god, that's a
And
thing.
that was awful. uh, I love to speak positively about birth and birth experiences, but to be completely honest, that was the hardest thing I've ever done. But I made it out on the other side, and we're here, and I still chose another home birth.
I was
So
gonna say,
it's
and they did
I
it
don't want to
again.
scare anyone. Yeah, I
So
don't want to scare anyone away. And that's of course not going to happen to everyone. But yeah, so that was intense. But she's happy, healthy. It was just a long labor. And then my son's was, I think 6 hours and easy breezy. He was born in the water. It was peaceful. I was cracking jokes with the midwives between contractions. Like, it was just such a, I don't know. Sometimes I feel like it was redemptive. I don't want to compare their births because they were, magical in their own ways.
No.
But it was kind of redemptive to me to just feel like, "Ugh, my body can do this in a relaxed way."
Yeah.
And it was beautiful. So his birth was very sweet, and he just came into the world so peacefully, and it was a really beautiful experience.
Is that his personality? Is he more like calm and sweet, or no?
No, we thought he would. I mean, like, he's very, very sweet, but he is not calm.
Yeah.
He is so sweet, but he is like, do you know Donnie Thornberry from Wild Thornberries?
Oh,
he's
my God.
that mixed with Johnny Knoxville. Like, I hear the Jackass theme song, like the when he's going through the house. Like, that is his personality.
I love that. Who was it?
Yeah.
Oh my God. I thought of my oldest the other day, something similar. It was like, oh my God, he's that cartoon. I can't remember what it is now, but their boy energy is just different. Like, it's
different. Yeah. That's been a very big adjustment.
It really, I imagine coming from a girl too and having her be older, and you're like, okay, like the house is calm or calmer.
Yes.
And then he comes in like, he's like, nope, gonna, all the memes of the second borns are true.
Yes, exactly. He's so sweet though. Like, he is a mama's boy, and he's so cuddly, and he'll just like grab my face and like, I love you so much. He's very sweet, but also just a little hellion sometimes.
Yeah. No, my oldest, I call him my Sour Patch Kid because he's just like, between spicy and sweet all the time. And then, the youngest for sure is a little angel, but he does things he knows he's not supposed to. And he gives you this whole smirk while he does it. And he's just so cute that you're like, you little shit. Like,
you know what you're doing.
You, but you're so cute.
You know what you're doing.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
No, they're so smart. I do wonder too, though, like I think about this a lot because I was not awakened by any sense. Like, when I had my oldest, I had suffered the miscarriage before him and did some soul searching, like while I was pregnant and then before, but didn't really, I feel like, get into like everything spiritual until after he was born. And so I felt like even just calling in the energy of my second born was very different. Like, I actually think my husband called in Sebastian, and then I think I very consciously called in Rocky. And then we'll see, because we're going to start trying for a third soon because we're crazy. And I feel her very clearly, like very clearly around me. So Will's like, watch it be another boy. But I wonder, like, I do wonder that if their personalities are different because of the way that we called them in differently. So, like, were you more spiritual when you got pregnant with Teddy? Like, did you feel a difference in those pregnancies in that regard?
I was in such a different place with both pregnancies. So, I had not done any meditation, breath work, anything like that before getting pregnant with Junie. And my husband and I were only married less than a year when I got pregnant. And I was probably the unhealthiest I had been in my whole life as well. Like, we were first married, we were eating tons of like Taco Bell and beer and just all the terrible things for your body. So like, it was night and day difference. And then, like when I was pregnant with Teddy, I was like meditating, doing breath work, weightlifting, very mindful of what I was eating. So it was very, very different mothers they got to grow inside of. But yeah, I think also the breath work, I will say, made a very big difference in the birth experience. And just being mindful and allowing myself to like open up and soften and be present in the contractions was such a different experience.
I bet.
In that way too.
I really wanted to have a natural birth, and both boys had big heads and were breech. They say supposedly the breech is like not hereditary, but my mother-in-law was breech, my husband was breech, and then both boys have been. So I'm like, there has to be something, or maybe something energetic. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
And then now with the third, I don't even think they'll let me have a natural birth because I had to have C-sections for the other two. But because of like the C-sections,
people do it. If
Yeah,
that's
that's true.
something
Actually,
you,
no, there was a girl in our group. Oh my gosh, what was her
I
name?
people do it. If it's something that if you really want it, I know people, it happens, you know.
Yeah, I guess I have to realize, am I courageous enough? I'm like, do I really
I was
want
about to
it?
say, it's whatever you
Right?
want.
I know.
You know, no
Part of me
pressure.
is like, I kind
But
of do.
yeah,
Just to feel like the amazingness of like a woman being like, oh my gosh, like I did that. Like,
it's crazy.
because,
Yeah. Yeah.
but no matter how you birth your babies, I think everyone has some type of birth trauma they have to work through or redeem themselves like from.
Yeah.
And I love that your second was redemptive because I felt the same also. Like even in just the way that Sebastian was born like right after Christmas. And so being in the hospital after Christmas, we got the worst nurses. Like no one wanted to be there.
Oh,
Like they wanted to be home with their families,
yeah.
which I get, but like I feel like we got like
Yeah.
terrible treatment because of that. And then I didn't
Oh,
touch my C-section scar for the longest time, Heather. Like, and I don't think I did it
wow.
like consciously, but then I think it was once I joined Elevate the Globe, and it was like, oh, I should touch this, like I should move this energy, and like then I realized I
Yeah.
had trauma around it because I didn't want to have a C-section. I wanted to have a natural birth. Like, so all of these things come up, I think, and aren't talked about enough for women. We think that like I don't know, you just have to deal with what happens in birth, but like it has
Yes.
repercussions and like lasts much
Yeah.
longer.
Yeah. And that makes me think too, you know, with birth and with a lot of things in motherhood, I feel like you kind of have to accept what happens and like release your expectations. Um, with so many different things. I feel like it's almost like a little bit of grief that you go through every now and then of like things just not happening the way you expected them to.
Yeah.
I've kind of experienced that lately with grieving my younger 20s and not having a whole lot of time with my husband before kids.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't want it any different now, but it's just something, you know, I think it's important to acknowledge the way that you're feeling, because if not, like you just harbor this weird grief and then you start feeling like resentful. Um, but yeah, to just like acknowledge that feeling of grief. And then it happens in so many different areas of motherhood. It's like you think things might go this way with your birth or with your kid's schooling experience or whatever. Um, yeah, it's a tricky one to walk through.
It's like, I feel like, again, not talked about enough, like the grief that we have to walk side by side, because to your point, it's at any moment we could be grieving so many things as a mother, like the last moment of something we didn't even know was the last moment, or
Mm,
that expectation, or who you thought you would be as a mother, in those moments. And like we have the power to alchemize them every single month as a woman. That's what your period is for. Like that's what
hmm.
the 28 days of your cycle are for. And I don't think we
Yeah,
use it enough to realize that like that grief we're carrying can be strategically released, as part of like our
yeah,
menstrual cycle and our process, but also really like that luteal phase. I mean, I'm in my luteal phase right now, and so many of us just say like, oh, it's PMS, or like we're angry or whatever. Use that energy, like use that grief
yeah,
that's coming up right now to fuel whatever you're creating next, or just to let yourself sit in it. Because to your point, like you have to feel it to heal it. And
hmm,
without that, you're just stuffing it down to be like unleash later. I wanted to ask, I feel like I've been seeing online so many women in the motherhood space like saying, oh, I'm late diagnosed like ADHD, or I'm late diagnosed autistic or whatever. Like, do you feel motherhood has brought out like things like that in you where you're like, do I need a diagnosis? Or do you think
absolutely.
okay, or do you think it's being pushed on us?
Yeah,
Because I know it's another thought I've had lately. Because I literally have been like, am I autistic? And maybe I am. Maybe I am. Okay,
yeah,
I don't
I
know,
know.
but
I will say I feel both. I feel both. I think okay, so from my personal experience, I I've always been a very sensitive person. And so whenever most of the time when you talk to a therapist, if you are in like a highly sensitive category, it kind of puts you in this neurodivergent category. And a lot
yeah,
of people think neurodivergent always means just autistic. And I think it's tricky because it can be very affirming to give a name to feelings you're feeling and why you're feeling a certain way. But at the same time, it can also it when it's such a broad umbrella, it can be confusing when there's, you know, autism is a spectrum. And so it can be confusing to people to for people to be here and under the same category.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think it's one of those things where some people can find it really helpful to have like a label to research, to find information and care for,
Yeah.
and then other people, it feels restrictive to them to like have a label put on them.
That's how I feel. I'm
You
like,
know?
I don't want to be called that. Like, does that mean now that that I need to go see like a therapist or have behavior, whatever, like
Yeah.
modifications? And the answer is probably no, but it's just interesting, like the trends, I would say, right? That I feel like happen
Yeah.
in the motherhood space. And that's a big one I'm seeing lately is, everyone was talking about somatic work for a long time. And now I feel like it's
Hmm.
gotten almost into this like science-y psychiatry space of like, oh no, it's not the somatics. Like you're not overstimulated. You actually have ADHD. And it's like, yes and no, maybe,
Yeah.
like, I don't know.
Yeah. I think I fall somewhere in the middle where I think if you're feeling overwhelmed, acknowledge you're feeling overwhelmed, but also let's do something about it. Like, I think because I'm like, I am highly sensitive and I get overstimulated very easily. And I've learned how to make accommodations for myself. It's not like I've decided that I am neurodivergent. And so I went straight to a medication and don't just tell everyone to like be quiet, like accommodate me,
Or
like
blame
there's
the label. Oh,
things.
it's my ADHD. Sorry, or
Yeah,
whatever. Yeah.
exactly. Like I think it's kind of tricky because people don't want to take accountability for the things they can change, but of course, like if there's things in your life, like you do have a legitimate diagnosis, like acknowledge that. But I think it can be more empowering to change the things that you can change and like take charge of your own life, and that's a lot of one of the things I try to share about, because motherhood has been hard. Like the past couple years have been very overstimulating, very overwhelming, and it's easy to get stuck in a state of like victim mentality and just overwhelm and like, oh, this sucks, and I just feel like blah blah blah, continue down that path. But I feel like it's way more empowering and you find more joy in motherhood when alongside your kids you're learning how to become a mother. And I think that's okay. No one is a perfect mom and no one has to be the perfect mom at the beginning. Like we're just constantly learning through the whole process and learning the tools along the way that help you become that better mom, if that makes sense.
No, exactly. I mean, you use what you have at the time, right? And I think sometimes like we are inundated with so much information that it can be overwhelming that like, oh, I know I'm a bad mom. I know I'm screwing up my kid with, the
Yeah.
yelling and the whatever. But I think that's when you have to give yourself grace and be like, we are the most educated generation of moms like ever. And I think that
Yeah.
self-awareness is a double-edged sword because, you know, you need a little fuck up. Like, I don't know. Like, I think kids need a little bit of, trauma, not trauma with a capital T, but like a little bit of trauma
Yeah.
to like make character in their lives, to make resilience, to make them have to overcome something. Maybe trauma is not the right word. Maybe they need to have feelings or things that they need to learn to overcome. Like, that
Yeah.
perseverance needs to be learned. But yeah,
Yeah.
like
I mean,
it's, yeah.
being able to, that's something I've been thinking about a lot lately with some like 7-year-old big emotions, and like a minor inconvenience being a big meltdown thing. You're gonna help them learn how to deal with these big emotions to be more resilient. It's not that it's all a bad thing. You want to help them be able to like be capable of doing really hard things. So like it kind of sucks from a parenting standpoint to like have to be the one dealing with all of that sometimes, but at the end of the day, like they're learning how to deal with the hard things and be a more resilient person because of it, is what I try to tell myself, at
Right?
least.
No, me too. Or like to try correct in real time, like the patterns that I'll see unfolding, like, like just that, hey, we're not going to do this. Like, all right, we're
Hmm.
stopping now, reset, everyone, like, let's try this
Yeah.
again. Or like, I'll notice some behaviors, like the boys will say things or things will happen. And I'm like, they learned that somewhere. Okay, that came from
Hmm.
us. Like, how can we do that differently? Because we say our values are X, Y, and Z. But that
Right.
behavior actually shows like we don't value that, or we're not showing that in our
Yeah.
everyday life. And like that's been the biggest, not slap in the face, but kind of wake up call for me of like, they're watching. You can say whatever you want until you're blue in the face, but like they're going to mimic your behavior. And when you see them do a behavior that you don't like that you do, oh God, that hurts.
Oh
You're
my
like,
God.
oh.
Again, motherhood's the biggest mirror, the biggest teacher, because oh my gosh, you have to be a better person if you want them to be a better person.
Yes. Right? You're like, God damn it. I wanted to just be a brat my whole life.
Dang it. I gotta do the work. I
know. You didn't tell me that when I signed up for this. Like, right. I thought I would just have a cute little kid and life would be great.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I love it. I've been loving this conversation. And I love everything that you share over on Instagram. How can everyone get in touch with you? What do you have going on? How can they become your wellness bestie, or you're their wellness bestie, I guess?
Yeah, it's at heatherelyse.wellness. You can find me on Instagram. I'm trying to be more active on TikTok as well. But yeah, I love to share everyday motherhood, what the habits and systems and routines and things and the mindsets that really help me live a more balanced and vibrant life.
Do you still have the workbook available, by the way?
It is on Amazon. I haven't shared about it in a while, but it's still, you can find it on Amazon. It is, the Vibrant Lifestyle Journal. So
yes, go get it. It's
like a 52-week journal with journal prompts and affirmations in there.
Yeah. It's not just a 52-week. That's amazing. Mamas,
Thank
run,
you.
don't walk. I will put it in the show notes for you guys. Thank you so much, Heather, for being here. I love these conversations because we need to have them as moms. We need to just normalize, like, it's really hard. It's really hard.
Yeah.
And we're all doing the best we can. Every woman listening, you're doing amazing, sweetie. Let Heather and I cheer you on. Thanks for listening. Thanks for being here. Please like, rate, subscribe, review the podcast, share it with another woman who just needs some inspiration in her everyday life. Thank you guys for being here. Be good to one another. I'll see you next week. Mwah.